What's the funniest thing a kid ever said to you? I was standing in the airport check-in line with my 6-year-old stepdaughter Emma, ready for our first solo vacation together. Her mom had to stay behind for work, so it was just me and Emma heading to Disney World for the weekend. I'd only been married to her mom for about a year, and while Emma and I got along great, I still worried about how strangers saw us together. She's blonde with blue eyes, I'm dark-haired with brown eyes. We looked nothing alike. Everything was going smooth until we hit the TSA checkpoint. The agent smiled at Emma and asked if she was excited for her trip. Emma nodded enthusiastically, then announced at the top of her lungs, "He's not my real dad, though. He's just borrowing me for a few days." The entire line went dead silent. I felt every single person in that terminal turn and stare at me. One woman actually stepped out of line and started walking toward us. Another guy pulled out his phone like he was about to call someone. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The TSA agent's friendly smile completely disappeared. "Sir, I'm going to need to see your ID and any paperwork you have for traveling with this child." I started frantically digging through my bag, sweating bullets, trying to find the permission letter Emma's mom had written. My hands were shaking as I pulled out boarding passes, snacks, coloring books, everything except what I needed. Meanwhile, Emma kept talking. "He has a whole suitcase full of goldfish crackers and fruit snacks, and my mom said I should go with him as long as I don't eat too much sugar or talk to strangers. But he is kind of a stranger still." "Emma," I whispered, "maybe you could help me out here and not talk for like 2 seconds?" "Oh, right," she said, giggling. "I forgot. I'm supposed to tell people you're my stepdad if they ask questions." That somehow made it worse. The TSA agent was now talking into his radio. The woman who'd stepped out of line was hovering nearby, obviously listening to every word. I finally found the permission letter, but my hands were shaking so bad I could barely unfold it. "This says you have permission to travel with Emma Rodriguez," the agent said, reading the letter carefully. "That's me," Emma announced helpfully. "My real last name is Rodriguez, but he's trying to make me a Johnson like him and Mommy." More stares, more whispers. The agent picked up his phone and called Emma's mom. I stood there sweating through my shirt while he verified our story. Emma, completely oblivious to the chaos she'd caused, started telling everyone in earshot about how we were going to see Mickey Mouse and eat churros. "My mommy couldn't come because she has to work at the hospital," she explained to the suspicious woman. "But she said this guy is safe because he married her, and now he lives in our house and fixes our broken stuff." 10 minutes felt like 10 hours. Finally, the agent hung up the phone and handed back our documents. "Everything checks out. Have a nice trip." The crowd slowly dispersed, but I was still shaking as we walked to our gate. Emma skipped along beside me, completely unbothered. "Why was everyone looking at us funny?" she asked. "Well," I said, trying to figure out how to explain this to a 6-year-old. "When you said I was borrowing you, people thought maybe you were in trouble." Emma stopped walking and looked up at me with the most serious expression. "But you are borrowing me. Mommy said so. She said you're borrowing me for the weekend and I have to be good so she'll let you borrow me again." I realized her mom had used that exact word, borrow, when explaining the trip to Emma. In her mind, she was just repeating what she'd been told. "You're right," I said, laughing for the first time since we'd gotten to the airport. "I am borrowing you, but maybe next time we should say I'm your stepdad first, and then explain the borrowing part." "Okay," she said, grabbing my hand. "Can we get pretzels now? Airport pretzels taste different than regular pretzels." We got the pretzels. The trip was amazing, but I made sure her mom came with us the next time we flew anywhere. And we definitely had a long talk about airport-appropriate language before our next family vacation.